Since when were they red?
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening!
I'm not even gonna go ape shit on this film like it was another half worked on Disney Plus series or just simply a new Star Wars project. Marvel at this rate has my low expectations, and I couldn't be bothered raising them because they just keep on being hindered and lowered by the second. So before I start my review, there will be spoilers.
Captain America.
So let me just get the elephant out of the room. No, Captain America Brave New World is not the worst MCU film. Neither is it a good one. Thor the Dark World, Eternals, Quantumania, whatever the fuck it is called, and some more films I'll just put on your screen are much worse.
Wow.
I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Despite a very underwhelming ending, it was still a show that elevated immense potential for characters like Falcon, now being the new Captain America. Story ideas were just endless. But to be the bearer of bad news, the ingenuity and cleverness from this studio has retired many years ago, because this movie feels like a below average popcorn flick, or Revenge of the Fallen just slightly better. A great similarity in the aspects of tough production resulting in a mess. One is a very disjointed story, and the other is a what the fuck happened to the effects. Brave New World was said to have a $180 million budget, which clearly has been made false when in reality the budget is $380 freaking million. If you want a comparison, At World's End budget was $300 million from this very same studio and was released in 2007 and has aged better than most films. The point is Marvel or Disney in general has been on the other end of the shooting gallery, taking a boatload of criticisms for their lack of effort in making their products. Either the workers themselves have lost passion in their work or Marvel are going crazy on crunch time. Second reason seems to be more believable, but there are really two big issues I have with this film.
Global power is shifting. You're just a pawn.
So let's talk about the fights and the effects. I know the VFX industry has been taking the horrible end of fuckery from greedy companies, but although they are working in very horrible working conditions, it does not stray away from an honest critique at the end of the day. Disney tested this film and proceeded to release it in theaters, and tickets are crazy expensive. Brave New World is not out of this vicinity, but close to this very case. Reshoots are noticeable, and Red Hulk looks a copy and paste as the lighting fails to really blend him in the shot. This is the Incredible Hulk. Notice how the lighting really helps a lot to make a CGI figure feel real. Or you know what, just look at any Michael Bay Transformers film.
Time to find out.
People are still gonna watch this film, and the movie will make a lot of money, and to continue pumping out this kind of quality. There are scenes where it looks like it's clearly been done by a green screen. It's either they brought blind folks to the test screens, as I cannot fathom what gave this film the go-ahead. Like, I've seen bad shots, but oh boy, there's a scene here where Red Hulk is getting a second version of the sun is setting speech from Cap, and it intertwines between scenes where I kid you not, it looks like Anthony Mackie's bald in one of the shots, and on the next one he grows his hair back suddenly. I'd probably appreciate the final fight more if the effects were tolerable and they didn't spoil Red Hulk and the marketing a shit ton. Speaking on the action, it was actually pretty okay. Nothing groundbreaking though. It just wasn't on the levels of the other Captain America films if we were to compare. A lot of practical stunts, less of the CGI slop, fast choreography. When I look back, you see when the studio stopped caring. A bunch of billion-dollar films, 2 of them reaching over $2 billion. The studio already made its money. When Iron Man released, it was a company desperately trying to get back on the grid and reaching to revive itself. Hence the amount of care put into those films. Now they hit their peak and are now pumping poor quality at a crazy level.
You want me? Come and get me!
Despite the effects and choreography being from okay to disappointing given the amount of money Disney put forth for this film,
Money!
you're probably wondering, how is the story and character writing? Well, it is more of an Incredible Hulk sequel with that Winter Soldier's feel. It's a very undercover espionage style film where the government is being infiltrated from within, and it's up to Cap to solve the case, after being warned to not look deep in it.
You're not Steve Rogers.
So Ross, remember him? Yeah, it's been a while, played now by Harrison Ford, and now I'm actually surprised that he kills it in this role. Dude has done everything. He played 2 iconic characters in Hollywood and a whole bunch of other great films. So you assume, yeah, he's in it for the check.
That's shocking.
Before definitely had the strongest performance in the film, really measuring that inner conflict of staying alive from his heart disease, leading a nation and trying to make amends with his daughter. But things seem to be out of order when Isaiah Thomas suddenly snaps and tries to assassinate the president, which gets him captured in a prison for a potential death sentence trial. But things are much deeper, as Isaiah's phone and many others have been controlled through a certain music, resulting themselves going rogue, and you wonder who is controlling everyone. Well, remember this fella from The Incredible Hulk? Yeah, he's the leader from the comics that I assume MCU just simply forgot. But now he's the main villain in this film, and a very underwhelming one. Nothing goes his way. Sure, he's killed people and fucked up Ross, providing him with gamma-induced pills, turning him into the Red Hulk. But his plan always goes haywire and gives that cliche, "No, how dare you fuck up my plan," like it's from a Scooby-Doo film. No apparent consequences, pulled a string for US and Japan to go head-to-head, but even that failed, even though 2 US aircrafts were going on a bombing run on the Japanese Navy from reaching the Celestial Island. His payoff of his impact is very minimal, despite having a nice and clear motivation of wanting to be free from his prison cell that Ross has kept him in, and using Stern as a tool for his medical needs.
Who's playing who?
Now the movie really does try to be a Winter Soldier-esque kind of film, but the pacing really didn't help a lot. Although the action being not up to par and kind of kept the film from being completely boring, while the Winter Soldier really kept their mind going, giving you questions with out of nowhere answers, keeping you in the ride of a lifetime. Brave New World simply plays a role as the film that is tying loose ends that the MCU simply forgot. The Celestial Island, remember that from the dog shit Eternals? Well, here's Adamantium, which will lead to probably the X-Men and Wolverine, or that one lost character that they teased 15 years ago and bringing him back so they can tie that Incredible Hulk loose end. Captain America didn't feel like an elevation type of film for Sam. His arc is so close to home with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Steve in his second film had an arc of seeing the truth behind government agendas, hence going rogue and influencing his play in Civil War and the Accords. Sam, on the other hand, looks like the writers had no idea what to do with him and were like, hey, remember that one show he was in? Yeah, let's just do that again, but in an espionage spy film style, which sucks because Sam is a great character being misused in a film which, let's face it, doesn't feel like a Captain America film. It's just merely damage control and a setup for the next. MCU just desperately needs to get creative, and there aren't that many household names that can draw in a big profit. When they start introducing new characters, they gotta hit their mark like they did with the first films of the original cast. On the side note, Disney wasting Giancarlo again should be a crime. Did I have fun with certain moments in this film? Sure, but is Brave New World enough to spend $20? Probably not. The industry is changing and people are tired of half-assed finished products when ticket prices for a lot of cinemas have skyrocketed for what they were 10 years ago. This movie will probably make just under $1 billion, and Disney will still not see an issue with it. Reshoots felt jarringly obvious, fight scenes lack character, except for Red Hulk who was in it for 4 minutes. I thought Ross's character was the best part about the film, but as for Stern, he lacked any sort of threat. And as for Sam, sorry bud, you have fucked with modern MCU writing. Well, time to get back to the drawing board, Marvel. Desperately need to. Anyways, that's it for me. See you in the next one.